one owes you shit. There is, if you are putting in the work, and keeping in mind that your first iteration is not going to be the last one. And there's probably so many paths you didn't see coming, right? Or so many like different routes that you didn't see when you first started. But the longer you're in the game, so to speak, the longer you're setting out to do those things and aiming for those really big, awesome dreams, like, yeah, it's gonna be crazy. And you have to remind yourself too that like, what's the reason I'm doing this for? Like, yes, at a certain point, like I am worthy of the fruits of my labor, or the results from based on what I put in. If you're not doing stuff and you're just expecting the outcome, I think that's a lot different, right? Life is short and so finite. I got a bunch of cool shit to do with cool people, but at the end of the day, like, I don't need to beat up on myself. I've done hard stuff. I'm going to continue to do hard stuff. Slay a dragon or slay a monster, whatever. Yeah. And continue to grow.
So feel me when I bring it, sing it loud. I'm from the loot and I'm proud. Run a mile for the cause. I'm right.
Hi guys, it's your girl Nechama, your favorite Jew from the Lou. Welcome back to my podcast. And today I am so excited to have Dr. Lauren Kimmerly with us. Welcome.
Excited to be here. Thank you.
I love chiropractors. I just do. They're great. And you're also an Aries. So
I am.
we just ended our Aries season. I was literally thinking about my intro with you, and I was going to be like, two Aries in an Aries season, but here we are on the 21st. It ended on the 19th. So my bad.
I've only been trying to set this up for like
a year.
A while.
A year. I was just telling my hairstylist about you because she was like, "Oh, who's your next guest?" And I said, "It's this girl that we met years ago on my first chiropractor out in Chesterfield."
You didn't remember me. It's fine.
I did not. I'm an asshole.
No.
And then you came here to the R2L community, which is where your practice is.
Yes.
And the name of your practice, remind me?
Rehab Loft.
Rehab Lofts. And we are just reconnecting in the basic St. Louis way, honestly.
Yeah, a different season of life. I mean, like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I think it's so cool because I love that you just decided to choose a medium where you can like connect with people.
Mm-hmm.
I did not go that route originally, so I'm a little behind. I'm a late bloomer.
You were corporate for a while.
8 years.
Oh yeah.
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 But you know what? Everything builds. There is
It does.
a season for everything. And if I hadn't done that, we wouldn't have met.
I was about to say you wouldn't probably be doing this, or like, could have looked a
Yeah,
lot different.
for sure. But we're also like same age range in our 30s.
30s and thriving.
30s and thriving. I love it.
Mhm.
And so tell me, what was it that like brought you into chiropractic specifically? Because I feel like you could have thrived in so many different careers. It's
Yeah,
hard to pick one.
it is hard to pick one.
Yeah.
I always say it and it kind of sounds like I'm downplaying it, and I don't mean to downplay it, but I don't
Yeah.
have a crazy story of like how I got into the profession, but I had always grown up seeing a chiropractor, and so that was something I was familiar with
Yeah.
and didn't know what I was going to do. Honestly, undergrad was kind of the same way. I was either going the music route or I was going something in health and wellness because those were two
Right.
things that were meaningful to me. And so I just happened to go health and wellness and, did my undergrad and then took a couple years off and shadowed a ton of chiropractors. We all practice a little bit differently.
When you took your years off, you shadowed.
I did, yeah. I was working and doing other stuff in the meantime, but
Okay,
yeah,
yeah.
shadowed and kind of made sure like, hey, is that actually what I want to pursue?
So
And
smart.
yeah, so, and then of course you don't find out like, I feel like your style or even a niche or anything like that till maybe you go through school or you get out into practice and you're like, it's a lot of pivoting. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's kind of how I found it. And I always appreciated what it did for me throughout athletics and stuff. So yeah.
It's so interesting because I don't know. Okay, side note, this is where my ADD brain is gonna ping pong. This is the kind of
Let's
conversation.
go.
I'm so caffeinated and I'm so ADD'd up right now, but here's my thing. This may not sound like it connects, but I promise you it does. What's your love language?
Ooh. I would either say acts of service or
Okay.
words of affirmation. I feel like those are pretty high. It's been a while since I've actually taken that test.
I know because you can take it. It's different for how you receive it and how you give it.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so how you receive it is what would you say is like your favorite right now?
Um, Honestly, I feel like acts of service is big for me. I feel like giving and receiving, like it does feel good to obviously to be able to, give, but also receive that at the same time. Like
Yeah,
it doesn't have to be anything big. It could be the smallest little thing, but
it's about the thought.
100%.
Yeah,
Yeah. What
100%.
about yours?
So that's why I was asking you because mine is touch.
Hmm.
That's a big one for me. But interestingly enough, because it's touch, I don't like just anyone to touch me.
Yeah.
It's like I have to want to be touched by that person. Sometimes I'm in the
Yes.
mood where I'm like, everyone's getting a hug today. I'm feeling
Yep.
super loving. And sometimes I'm like, ooh, this person just touched me. I freezed up just because I'm like, I don't know you like that.
And you're in
Even
my
you're in
proximity.
my
Yeah.
proximity. And because it's how I give love, like it's not just an automatic that everyone's going to receive it.
Hmm.
And I would say time.
Time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Time is like quality time is like a really big one for me. That's why I had a friend recently say, I'm a cactus friend.
Okay.
I am not the type of friend who's going to text you all the time,
Hmm.
who's going to call in and check on you. You might randomly get some reels from me, and by randomly, you'll get like 50 reels in a row and then not hear from you for like 3 months.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
something like that. But I think about you and I love you.
Hmm.
Probably not every day. I love you every day, but I'm not thinking about you every day.
Fair enough.
But when I'm with you, I'm with you.
Yeah.
So like that's why I was so excited about today.
Yeah.
The fact that we could just sit down and chill and talk and connect. Because I felt that vibe and I've been wanting to do this for so
I
long. It's just
know.
hard to focus. But when I'm with people who I care about and who like fill me up,
Yeah.
it gets me excited?
I'm the same way. I mean, it's not just one-on-ones, but I really do appreciate like sitting down one-on-one.
Yeah.
Obviously, I get to do that a lot with
Yeah, you
practice,
do. And
but
people relax, I'm sure,
yeah,
because you create this safe space. You're
that's
releasing
always
their
been the goal.
pain.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to make sure that, everybody who steps foot in here obviously feels welcome and it is an inclusive space, but, you know, oftentimes with healthcare, or honestly, it doesn't even have to be healthcare related, but we feel maybe misunderstood or unheard or unseen or whatever it is. And I always just want to make sure that I'm holding space for that person to feel seen, to express whatever they need to. Yeah, to maybe just relax and take a breath for a minute and not be
Hmm.
moving at a billion miles an hour. So that's always been the goal. And of course, yeah, then I feel like you do create stronger connections.
For sure. And that makes I really thought your love language is going to be touch
Hmm.
because being a chiropractor, that is part of the service, right?
Right.
But at the same time, the fact that you said acts of service, that makes so much sense
Hmm.
because at our pregame, you also were saying that for you, it's more than just health and wellness. It's about connection. It's about community and how can I be of service to the community at large?
Right, right.
Yeah.
And I think we also kind of touched on, yeah, that could come through any sort of medium. This is kind of just where I've landed. And I think, I mean, touch is obviously a big deal. But yeah, I still think acts of service, probably takes the cake there.
It's true because it doesn't have to be anything big, but it's those small things. And even within your business,
Hmm.
there's small things that you can do that's acts of service that help keep stand you apart from anyone else.
Right.
Getting to know them, remembering something. I feel like that's also an act of service. It's like caring about the individual person and saying, "Oh, I remember that you went to this show," or "I
Sure.
remember you really like this book series." And how's your aunt's wedding that you just went to? You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
little things like that, like touch points where they're not just another. Do you call them clients or patients?
I alternate sometimes.
Okay,
Yeah, I probably patience more often.
patients. That makes
Yeah.
more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I think, and it's also, it could be something that we do come in and we yap about, and it's obviously verbalized, but I think there are plenty of ways to demonstrate that non-verbally too. And that's something that it's kind of just like automatic, and I don't really think about. And I really hope that I do a good job with that. But
I feel like even though I haven't experienced it yet, I could
mhm,
tell from like your energy that you do. And even now, like I know you just switched to like this new space within the building,
yeah,
but even so, like there's a certain energy in the room that I could just
we want it
tell.
to be that good energy.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it starts with you and how you're feeling and
Yeah.
like what your intention is. So that's
Yes.
awesome.
Yeah.
I also was thinking about the fact that when you were saying that you were shadowing, you had mentioned earlier it wasn't just Tony's. Who else was it that you had shadowed with?
Oh, so many. A lot of them were back
Yeah,
home in Michigan, where I'm originally from.
right.
So a lot of them were, and Tony's also from
Crazy.
Michigan. So that was kind of the connection. We had a mutual, well, he had a mentor back home, and I ended up shadowing that person. So that was like random small world, like kind of circle back moment. But yes, most of those were back in Michigan. Shadowed as many as I could.
Did you say there was I'm so blanking on the name because I suck at names. But what was it like the Air Force or something? No.
Yeah,
Yes, it
Air
was.
Force. Yeah, Scott Air Force.
Scott Air Force. There you go.
Yes. Yep. That was like towards the end before graduation, our rotation, usually called a preceptorship. So I preceptored at Scott Air Force Base.
What does that look like though?
No shortage of experience and patience.
Like what kind of need do they have? I'm just so curious.
I mean, not a lot. What I learned from working there, one of the things I learned, not a lot of bases have chiropractic care. So I think that it's like we were always booked, we were always busy, and it taught you a lot about, I mean, a lot of things, how to manage that with a very busy schedule and a very
Yeah.
busy flow, providing value to those people who obviously are providing a very big service for this country and just making sure they're taken care of. I mean, it was a fun, like, very fun position. I'm very grateful for it. Learned a lot. It was not an easy preceptorship, but I'm really thankful that I had that opportunity.
It wasn't easy. What was challenging about it?
I'd say we just had a very good instructor, and it
So they were
was
strict.
they were strict, but I mean
Yeah.
they it came from a place of wanting you to be a better clinician, you know, be a better provider once out in practice. And so, yeah, it was definitely kind of an emotional roller coaster for some days, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's a
Because
really
I
good
remember with
experience.
Tony, when he first started, he didn't have any interns because
Hmm.
I was one of his first
I remember
patients.
that. Yeah.
And then when he started bringing in interns, I was like, what is happening? Like there was just so many of them. Like there was this and that's why I didn't remember you right away. I remembered
Yeah.
your face, but it wasn't like I said, there were so many over the course. I think I was in for
Yeah.
like 4 years and I went every week for 4 years.
Oh, yeah.
So I
100%.
saw so many. So and
Yes.
then you started having some that stayed and kind of not just shadowed, but
Yeah.
would actually, what's the right word? Interned, I guess.
I
Yeah.
guess interned or eventually hired on, I know he's got,
Yeah, he does
several
that more now.
clinicians.
It's incredible what he's done.
Yes.
But I just remember because I went so often and because we kind of bartered with some marketing and graphic design work for
Hmm.
free treatment for me. I don't know if he wants me to, you know what, too bad. There's
Shout out.
shout out to being a good businessman. So what would happen was is one time he was like, you know what? I'm in a good mood, learned some stuff. Let's do a la carte. Because he would also, as he was learning new techniques, I was his human guinea pig. He's like, can I try something out new on you that
Yeah.
I learned? Because he was comfortable with me. I was a
You're
regular.
like, why
And
not?
I was
Let's
like,
go.
hit me up. I was like, try out all your new things. I love this. And then he basically one day said, a la carte, whatever you want. It's like, oh, you never tell an Aries
Yeah, don't do
whatever
that.
you want. I'm like, okay, bet. And so ever since then, he was like, I made a big mistake because I had I wanted certain things. And if he would skip out on certain moves, I'd be like, no, no.
Where was that?
Yeah, he stopped taking notes on me
Mhm.
because he was like, she's just a special case. She comes in, she knows what she wants. And then I would train the interns because some of them would come in and they would be like too gentle.
Mhm.
And I was like, no, you're doing it wrong. Like, I may not be a scientist or
Like,
or
listen,
no
I'm
medicine,
seasoned,
but I
okay?
know how it's supposed to feel, and you're not getting what I need done. We've got 45 minutes. Let's
Let's
go.
go. I mean, honestly, patients like that are like it's a very good like practice scenario, if you will,
Yeah.
where like they're very patient and they're very they'll give you feedback.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I mean, I've been in practice for going on like 5 years now, and I still appreciate like feedback. I'm never offended if someone is like, in fact, I lead with that a lot of times. I'm like, if there's something you don't like or you really like, if you've been
Yeah.
elsewhere, like, please tell me.
So that you can incorporate it.
Yeah, or not incorporate it,
Right.
like, yeah,
Because the worst thing would be for someone to come experience and then not get the experience that they want and then just not come back.
yeah,
Or even worse, leave a bad review, you know?
sure. I would rather you, yeah, say something and, like, okay, we can like tailor it to it should be tailored to you,
It
right?
should be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's hard sometimes. Sometimes I think all of us, we all get stuck in our heads and it's hard to voice it. This is what I wanted to talk to you about that I was waiting to
Let's
talk
go.
about on the podcast. So yesterday I decided that I want to work on my communication skills,
Okay.
which is kind of ironic because I have a podcast. So you would think,
Always learning.
dude, can I tell you, you want to like have a podcast experience where maybe you're editing. I think everyone should have the practice of trying to make at least one podcast episode on their own
Hmm.
because when you watch yourself back, it's humbling. I am humbled
Hmm.
because sometimes you don't know how you're coming across. And then seeing the actual reaction, not how you experienced it emotionally, but logically in that moment,
Yeah.
you're like, oh, okay,
Hmm.
that wasn't cool. We're gonna wrap that up. But we were talking about how both of us also have ADD. Do you have ADHD or ADD?
More without the hyperactivity, so more
Okay, more
ADD.
ADD.
Yeah.
And so your mind is going a mile a minute.
Hmm.
So sometimes communicating can be hard
Hmm.
because your mind, I like to think, is smart. It has great ideas.
But it's going.
It's going
Right.
and it's hard. And so, especially you also said you mumble too.
Yeah, I have a really bad habit with mumbling.
Yeah, or talking too quietly.
Hmm.
I don't really project very well. So like on the podcast, after this, I can edit it. I
Hmm.
can get rid of filler words. I can make my voice sound a little bit louder. But this guy was listening to this podcast. I want to say his podcast is called The Caleb Scott Show.
Okay.
He's British, love. And
You're like accent all day.
oh my God, literally. But also he talks about entrepreneurship.
Hmm.
I'll send it to you. It's great.
Okay.
But one of the episodes, like the guest was talking about how there's absolutely no excuse for being a poor communicator.
Yeah,
Just work on it.
true. I mean, like you said, there's always good stuff out there and good practices to kind of improve that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So from a patient perspective, like not everybody is confident enough to say how
true.
they'd want it. So you probably also have to be really intuitive.
Hmm. I think if there's one thing that I have learned in my own personal growth journey, and it's been more from like trying to understand regulating my own nervous system, and then again with people around you, it's just being like attuned to whatever is happening. I mean, there's going to be days where I open the door and someone walks in and I'm like, oof, before they even
Oh, the
say a
energy.
word. Right.
Yeah.
And I think it's just having that understanding and, not that it's not like chameleoning, but it is just kind of giving them what they may need. And
Because
again,
you're
holding space for whatever that is. I don't know how someone's going to show up
right.
on any given day. I don't know how I'm going to show up on any given
No,
day.
it's true. Even
Yeah.
with this, we were like,
Who
we weren't
knows?
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're like, we pre-gamed. So we had some
Right.
intentions going in, but
Yes.
both of us had like the adaptability to be like, whatever the mood needs, we're gonna flow with it. It's gonna be great,
Yeah.
no matter what,
Roll with it.
but we're gonna roll with it.
Exactly.
Love it. So, but you're also an empath.
Yes.
I think that's helpful and could possibly be harmful for you at the same time. Like, you
Mhm.
probably have to be careful with that because you're doing an act of service, it's healing work. and you're caring about your patients and their mood, their energy, the pain that they're going through, that's probably also affecting their energy.
Right.
How do you regulate your own emotions and take care of you?
I would say very early on in practice, I did not, well, I mean, it stemmed from beyond like just practice, but I did not know what boundaries were
Mm,
for myself, obviously. I did not, I definitely took on a lot more of that energy than I should have been. I mean, it was
yeah.
probably great for the patient and the encounter, but like I was kind of just taking all that on myself.
Mhm.
And uh, I did not have the capacity to do that at that point in time. And so working through those things, attending therapy, talking about boundaries, implementing boundaries, and also while growing my capacity to hold space for people, to, listen, all those things, I definitely felt better. I like emotionally, I felt better. Um, I didn't feel stressed or irritated or, irritable because again, when you're holding space for stuff that you probably don't have the capacity to hold space for, it can be exhausting.
Right.
So yes, it definitely that once I did that, it was a big drastic turnaround for me. Because that is just going to be an inevitable part of the job, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
It's something that I'm trying to be cognizant of because as a barista,
Hmm.
believe it or not, people dump some emotional shit on you.
I
And
bet.
it's crazy. And you can't go anywhere because you're on shift.
Yeah, you're
And
just there.
and there's hospitality, right? So you can't be like as uninteresting or as dark as all this seems. I gotta go take my 5 minute breather break right now. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? You
Hmm.
have to be hospitable. You have to have those interactions. A lot of people felt a lot closer to me than maybe I felt to them
Hmm.
because they're emotionally dumping.
Right.
And so I saw something recently where baristas were like, no, you have to figure out a way to balance that. But I never could see the whole reason I didn't want to become a psychologist was because I was like, that's A, do I care? Because I'm not an empath.
Hmm.
So I was raised by a mother who gives tough love.
Hmm.
No need to complain. We've all got shit. Fuck up and fix it,
Yep.
you know? And being positive is going to get you way more opportunities and results. So, that being said, it's hard for me to hold space for people
Hmm.
and to feel empathy for them because I feel sympathy. I'm sorry you're going through something.
Right.
Once is venting, twice you're complaining, and I no longer have the patience to handle this.
Hmm.
So, what are some of the boundaries that you put in place, at least for yourself, so that you can not get burnt out?
One of the big ones was I'm much more selective of when I say no a lot more and I say yes to things that I actually want to say yes to.
Mm,
Because I feel like there was that kind of feeling of an obligation to say yes to something, even if I wasn't like gung ho about it.
yeah.
And so that was a big one, or just respecting my time. I love to sit and have hour-long chats with every single person, but like that's just not a reality. Like I
Yeah.
have priorities and I have things I need to get done. So um it's weird because in healthcare, I feel like you are there to provide a service and you are there to be kind of not at someone's beck and call, but you're there to be, whatever they need as a well-rounded provider. But you also have to take care of yourself. Whatever the saying is, you can't pour from an empty cup.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say those boundaries and being a little bit more selective when I say yes. Like I actually have to give a shit about it to say yes.
What do you do if you're in a space where a patient is just maybe yapping, but
Is it like a good yap? Are we
you gotta
like,
go? Like it's end of session. It's starting to impede on your time, perhaps on other
hmm.
patients you have after. Like
Yep.
you have a schedule, like you said, you're a
Yep.
professional. Like while you're here during your time slot, absolutely.
Yes.
But then how do you gracefully end a session?
Usually I try to communicate at the beginning of the session. There might be a time or two where I don't, but I try to say like, hey, I have like an absolute out at this time.
Mm-hmm.
And usually they're receptive to that. And if I need to remind kind of at the tail end of the appointment, like, hey, I have, X to attend to, they're usually pretty receptive to that. And if not, I mean, you kind of just got to do the uncomfortable things sometimes and be like, I would love to continue this conversation, but I really need to go do whatever, eat my lunch, walk,
Yeah.
attend another session right after this. So
Yeah. It's definitely easier said than done for
it
sure.
is, and it's
Yeah.
hard. Like as someone who does want to like, you want to be likable, you want to be, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more respectful to me and honestly to them if I'm keeping that schedule.
So you took some time, going back to your earlier story, after, was it before Logan or after Logan that you took some time?
I took time,
For reference, Logan is
yes,
the chiropractic school. It's
Logan
like
University, yes.
Logan University, one of the best chiropractic schools in the US.
Sure, we'll go with that. Yes, I took a couple years in between undergrad and grad school.
Okay, so
Yep.
before you went to Logan.
Yes.
Okay, so it's so interesting because I remember Nick telling me, shout out to you, Nick, that it's so different going to chiropractic school and doing all the tests. It's not easy. Chiropractic school is intense.
Yes, can be.
And then, oh, okay,
Yeah.
we're pinning that for now.
Okay, we'll come
We're
back.
gonna come back to that one. It's intense, but then real life is totally different, like in practice.
100%.
So probably having that experience of shadowing was absolutely brilliant. But do you still feel that the shadowing really kind of gave you a real taste of what it was like, or as
I think
close as
it
you can?
gave you a chance to see how other people practice, and because there's different specialties, maybe there's a technique that even though I am probably not going to opt to use that, I still am interested. I want to see how they run their practice. Like that happened, that came up a few times. Or maybe they work in like a high volume environment. And I kind of knew off the bat, I was like, I don't think that's really for me. Like,
Mm,
but again, none of these things are wrong. It's just everybody prefers different things and it works for them. If it works for them, it works for them. Um, but yeah, I learned probably those things right off the bat, just observing, and then, everybody's got a different presence in there. So everybody brings something different to the table. I think that's what I learned most from shadowing.
right.
But yes, it doesn't prepare you, like school doesn't even prepare you for
Life.
life. No.
Yeah.
No.
And everyone's life is so unique and different. Like there's no
Right.
way to know the timelines, the expectations, the challenges, the opportunities.
That's entrepreneurship. I mean, we could have
Love
a whole podcast on
entrepreneurship.
that. Yes.
Oh my God, I could nerd out. So, who inspires you from both a business and chiropractic perspective?
I mean, I have mentors that I look up to and have provided lots of valuable insight. But to be honest with you, I mean, is it conceited to say myself? Like, I'm doing shit that, like, I
No,
would
it's
never
not.
imagine myself doing X amount of years ago, or definitely as, like, little Lauren, like baby Lauren.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of like on Instagram, people are showing, like entrepreneurship has challenges and it can be so
Sure.
hard and you question yourself and spiral and why am I doing this? They're complaining about some element of the business. And then on the bottom half of the screen is like the little child version of you being like, wait, we have a business?
Hmm.
Sick.
Yep.
That's so cool. No, I love that you're your own inspiration because I think the other thing is usually when I talk to entrepreneurs and I ask them like what's new, or I give them a compliment about what they're doing,
Hmm.
there's this thanks.
Yeah.
Because from an outside perspective, I'm looking at you taking nothing and creating something.
Right.
And that's incredible. And as an entrepreneur, I also have a much deeper respect because I know how hard that is and what it took.
Exactly.
But at the same time, you know your field, you know your career, and you also know your potential and
Hmm.
what your goals and dreams are. So while, yeah, if you take a step back, you could be grateful, you could be proud, but yeah, you're like, but I should be here. And if you only knew how I wasted my time and the other things that I could have done today to get me 1% better tomorrow,
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah, it definitely is. But I think that's where last year, I'd say that's where gratitude helped me a ton.
Hmm.
Um, I started at least trying to have that as a bookend for my day. Try to start my day with it, try to end my day with it in some way, shape, or form. Yeah.
Let's do a tradition.
Okay.
I wanted to start this. You just reminded me, so I'm so
Let's
grateful.
go. What
I'm
what is this
so
segment?
grateful. So I started this. I'm obsessed with coffee. I love coffee. I want to understand everything about it. Like you with the shadowing, I took a barista job. I
Hmm.
worked at two different cafes over the span of 2 years to really understand what I liked, what I didn't like.
Sure.
At a certain point, I felt that I had reached the point where I was playing house and I was hiding behind learning and not doing that leap of faith and pushing myself to do it myself.
Mhm.
Now, I am working towards having a brick and mortar, but in the interim, having my own little coffee cart, doing private events,
Right.
pop-up events, that's the next goal and stage. Full circle, in order to sustain my life, because entrepreneurship is not something that pays out all the time right
Not for
away.
the faint of heart.
It's not for the faint of heart or the faint of pocket. You will be faint of pocket, probably. Usually you'll need another job or something to help sustain you in the beginning, depending on what you're trying to do. But I wanted to stay in the coffee field, but I needed the flexibility.
Yeah.
For my shipping and fulfillment team, I am one of their customers. They fulfill a lot of orders for different coffee companies.
Okay.
So I currently work in a coffee warehouse and I'm learning so much. I'm learning about roasting, I'm learning
It's a
about
whole different environment.
importing and exporting from all the different regions. I'm learning about just the nerdy business strategy, roasting. It's insane. It's
But you love
insane.
it?
Oh, I freaking love it. I love it. It's not for you, it's connection and
Mhm.
community and acts of service. It's not chiropractics, right? That's just your medium.
Sure. Yeah.
Coffee is my medium.
Hmm.
I love business strategy, connection, and community.
Yes. And
That
finding a way to bring them all under with
all
coffee.
together. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's fun. And
Yeah.
so having the coffee shop is part of the dream, but the real dream is this
Hmm.
being in the thick of it and figuring it out. Now, I bring this all to say that was a long story to get to my point, which is at my new team, we meet about once a week.
Hmm.
And we started something that I thought was darling after working in so many toxic environments, which is
Wait on me.
name something that you're grateful for.
Yeah.
So let's do that right now.
Okay.
Name something. And I think, in the spirit of entrepreneurship and business, specifically in that realm, what's something in your business today that you're really grateful for?
I am grateful to be I'm grateful to be in the position I'm at. This is second location for me. This is lots of community.
Mm-hmm.
This is lots of go-getters here. I mean, you have so many different businesses, so many different personalities, but I'm very grateful. And it's, kind of a long story of like, oh, how'd you end up here kind of thing. But I'm very thankful that, this part of my journey has happened. So, yes, I'd say I'm grateful for that, where
For
I'm at
being
right now.
here, sitting here, right here in this room.
Yes.
That's awesome. I love that. We're gonna tap into that in a second because I
Yeah.
want I want to dive into, if you are okay with it,
Yeah.
everything that took you from Logan to where we are right now, kind of going through that story. I think
Cool.
would be fun. And then the other question that they just started implementing, which I really loved, which is we all know that there's different learning styles, right?
Hmm.
Some people are visual, auditory, kinesthetic, right? But the best way to learn is through your mistakes.
I like that.
So at the end of every meeting, we say one thing that we're grateful for professionally, and then we
Hmm.
say one thing that we've made a mistake in, or what we've learned from that.
Yeah.
So what's something that you made a mistake in?
I think like you said, there are, I don't know, it kind of sounds cliche, but there aren't really mistakes. Like if you look at it from a very analytical point, I think it's data
Yeah.
and it's a lesson, right? Um, let's see, one right off the bat. There's so many because I feel like I'm hypercritical, of
Yeah.
myself. I'd say we could even take it back, not a mistake, but just a learning point with how I spend my time and energy and how I prioritize my day.
Oh, girl,
Yeah.
you're
Not
speaking to me.
not a mistake, but I mean as somebody who I don't know when entrepreneurship starts picking up and you're like, okay, now I've got to think about not only like an office schedule, but I've got to think about all my stuff.
Hmm.
Got to make sure I like keep my house clean, like all those things. I'd say you learn pretty quickly, or you're forced to learn pretty quickly right off the bat how to balance that. And it's a juggling act, I feel like, but you have systems in place and you have routines, and those things exist for a reason.
Did you ever feel like you struggled with systems and routines?
Yes. And it's like the wild, wild west when you're an entrepreneur. You're like, oh, there's no
Yeah.
rules. Okay.
I think, yeah. And like at first that was exciting, but then as you said, quickly
Yeah.
that becomes either a combination of burnout or overwhelm.
Hmm.
And then you reach this point where you're not going to give up because you've already invested too much time. The dream is so strong that you can taste it.
Yes.
You know you can do it, but you're just at that point where you wonder how.
Hmm.
And so then I struggled for a very long time. And one of the guys that I work with, shout out to you, Tony, dude, he's so smart. He hurts my brain. I don't know if I've ever told him that before, but I'll send
He's,
him
he's
this.
gonna hear it
He's gonna
now.
hear it now. But it's so great. And I just really wanted this job part of it to be around him
Hmm.
so that I could see the way he operates and hopefully through osmosis
You're
it
like, I
would
just wanted to study this.
just come to me and just let it absorb me. But it's starting to.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing the method behind the madness. Systems to me felt like constraint. It felt like shackles. I'm like, I'm a dreamer. I'm that fire sign. I
Oh, I
want
hate
to,
a box. A box
oh,
hates to see me coming.
no, no. But here's the thing. It's all about changing the narrative
Hmm.
and your perspective. Like the same way you would say, you don't make mistakes. It's just data on how can we improve and get better.
Yeah.
Life is fast, but every now and then you deserve a pause, a moment that's just for you. At Le Café, we believe that each cup of coffee should taste like a little bit of luxury. Handcrafted and locally roasted here in St. Louis, each of our single origin beans are carefully selected to give you the most unique and smoothest experience. Whether you like a light, medium, or dark roast, we got you. For those busy mornings, or for my coffee lovers who prefer efficiency, we also have K-Cups. So go ahead and pour yourself a cup that tastes like self-care. Visit www.lecafe.us to bring the cafe experience home. Le Café, you deserve it.
And that's how you know you're going to make it as an entrepreneur when that's your mindset.
Exactly.
But with systems, as we grow and scale, if we don't have systems in place, you're only as good as your systems.
Right, right. You fall to the level of your systems, right?
Yeah. And so it's okay that you're still figuring those out. And I think what I love about entrepreneurship is we are the ones who determine and decide those systems,
Exactly. Yep.
but there's no shame in having those systems. It's not cool to just be out there free balling it.
Hmm. Hmm.
I think I saw, and I don't know how this would exactly correlate to chiropractics, but it's an interesting food for thought. Imagine for a moment that you were going to sell your practice tomorrow to a group of investors.
Hmm.
Can you? Is it organized in a way where like your finances, your practice, like here, you know, if you left your business, could it still run? Kind of thing. Could you I mean, I know it's just you solo at the moment, but
Yeah.
like, could you hand it off to someone and they could keep rolling it for you?
Hmm.
That's a fun thought.
I like it though.
Hmm.
Like I said, you kind of, yeah, you figure it out, and I don't know, there's lots of twists and turns. It
Yeah.
feels overwhelming at times. But I think there are those little milestones along the way, whether it's a system you put in place or whether it's a goal you reach or whatever it is, that just they create more of that self-belief and that confidence. And yet then the dream is even more tangible, you know? And
Truly.
I think that helps your why. It helps, you know, there are times where this feels very deflating at times.
It can be.
It
Yeah.
can.
Well, that was the crazy part. I put it into ChatGPT, Gigi, my personal
Okay.
assistant.
Oh, you named yours.
Yeah, of course I did.
Okay.
So I went into Gigi and I was like, okay, girl, here is.
Hey, bestie.
Hey, Basti, you can leave voice notes now and it'll transcribe it
Oh,
for
I
you.
know.
Because my fingers can't keep up with my brain, you know what I'm saying? So I started talking to Gigi and I started like listing out my whole business practice
Hmm.
about like, here's my events, here's all my different people. I thought I had 5 partnerships. I had 15 partnerships of different businesses that I was working with. I couldn't keep track of it. That's a problem. And then why there were certain events that maybe I didn't make money from that event, but it was strategic because it was a business relationship that ended up being lucrative somewhere down the line.
Hmm.
You know, so it's like learning to assess kind of how you said earlier, when to say no, when to say yes. Not every opportunity is an opportunity.
Right.
And I'll send it to you later, the format, so you can see if you wanted to like
Yeah.
apply it to your business because I think it could be applied to other businesses too. But it took it down to everything, to systems, daily operations, accounting, like all these things. And I texted my friend who's like a mentor to me as well. And I said to him, I was like, dude, now I know I'm so tired. I'm dealing with a lot. But I want you to know that if I were to die tomorrow, Lake Cafe would live
I
on.
want you to know it made it out of here. Yeah.
Truly. Circling back, because I think it's just fun sometimes to go down memory lane. Sometimes we're so future focused that we don't take a moment to be like, wow, so much happened to get me where I'm at right now.
Hmm.
So much good and so much bad. And it's beautiful that you feel so grateful right now. But what was that journey like? Walk us through. I know it's over the span of 5 years, essentially.
Hmm.
But if you can give us a little highlight reel.
Okay. Highlight reel.
Mm-hmm.
Graduated. Had interned. Decided to earn my master's simultaneously. So that's
An
when we
Aries
met.
move.
Definitely an Aries move. But from that point, I actually asked Tony's advice,
Mhm.
and I was like, I don't really know what I want to do. This was before the internship ended, but he was like, go where, obviously where you have your foot in the door is ideal. And I was like, okay. So at the time, I was really immersed in CrossFit. I was coaching. That's primarily what I did in terms of working out. And so I opened up shop, had a business partner first time around, opened up shop up top from the CrossFit gym that I was at. And then that lasted for a time. That ended amicably. And then I had someone who made an intro here. Was like, well, I wasn't really planning on moving. I guess I should backtrack. Like, I wasn't really planning on moving, but I was really curious about the opportunity. And I think that curiosity sparked enough interest to pursue the move,
Mhm.
especially once I met, Will and Pete, and I met, a lot of faces that were around here. Um, so that kind of fueled the move. And, ironically or unironically, ended right upstairs from a CrossFit gym again. So felt like home in a weird way.
I love that about CrossFit.
Yeah, community vibes.
Yeah. I don't partake,
We
as
talked
you
about
know,
it, yeah.
at length. I think I've mentioned that multiple times in my podcast about
You're like, I hate girls. No,
I you know, it's
I'm just teasing.
it's not that I hate CrossFit because here's the number one thing about me. I've never tried it. So I really don't have a leg to stand on, right? It's just more the picture that I've created in my head.
Yeah,
Here, let me just lay it out for you objectively.
tell me.
Here are my thoughts. CrossFit, the community, so jealous of. So freaking jealous
Beautiful.
of. Literally, chef's kiss.
Mm-hmm.
Chef's kiss. Everyone who I've ever met who is in CrossFit has been like the coolest, most down to earth person from all walks of life,
Yeah,
all ages, all backgrounds, so accepting, so warm,
love that.
amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so cool as someone who's like struggling with finding my own community within faith, within entrepreneurship, within my era of life being, 30 and not married with a kid.
Mm-hmm.
30 and thriving in my own
Thriving.
way, right?
Okay.
Entrepreneurship, world-class traveler, teaching my nieces and nephews all the languages of the countries that I go to. Did they
Perfect.
just learn Swahili? Yes.
Okay.
You know, but the aisles that I'm going down are on the plane, not to the get married. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
different era, figuring out my place in life.
Yeah.
And so when I see communities, it intrigues me. And the fact that like so many CrossFitters will be traveling and can just walk into another CrossFit gym and find that community again,
Mm-hmm.
intriguing.
Yeah.
Okay. So this sounds great. You're like, hey, girl, what's the problem, right? Like, what's holding you back? I'm a gym goer. I lift at
Tell me.
least 5 times a week.
Tell me what scares you.
Thank you for asking.
Mhm.
I'm so glad you asked.
You're like, hold
Okay.
on, there's a list.
There's a list. What scares me is I am a slow gym mover. I like to move at my own speed and my own pace. And I know well, people say you can in CrossFit. There's a space to find your rhythm and movement and whatever.
Sure.
I'm an Aries. Okay. I'm competitive. If someone's moving faster, stronger, you best
You don't have
believe
to tell me, girl.
that
Same boat.
I will be just as good, if not better, because in my head, if you can do it, I can do it better. Is that healthy? I don't care. But here's the problem. I've gotten injured physically from it. This is why I don't allow myself to do any sort of physical classes with anyone else because I'm a beast.
You're
It's
gonna, yeah.
I will kill myself. And it's a problem. This is how I ended up at Tony's because I went to a group fitness class and I injured myself.
You said I'm gonna do it better.
Yeah, I'm gonna do better, faster, stronger.
And how did you feel about that number one spot on the leaderboard?
Oh, the one that I didn't
Yeah,
get.
like
The
I came
one
in
that I
10th.
didn't get. The one that where I got an injury with my sciatica at 22.
Okay, so we have some trauma around this.
I don't believe in trauma. That's another thing.
Okay.
Whatever. It's my story. Okay.
Okay.
It's my challenge that happened to me. So whatever, I'm cautious and
Okay.
I don't like to lift heavy on my back. I like to do functional strength training. So I primarily like to do more things that are like cardio strength training that is more kettlebell, dumbbell, and calisthenics. Pilates, yoga-esque, walking, rucking, that's all my vibes.
Okay.
But CrossFit, there's a lot more strength. There's a lot of heavy lifting and fast-paced movements.
Barbell stuff.
Barbells, lots of barbell stuff. I've seen it. I'm like, damn, they all look good, but it's just I know my back twings every time.
Just a little reminder.
I'm like, damn, okay, you look good and you look strong.
And I'm going over here.
And I am going to put my blinders on because the competitive streak is already beginning. Like it's between the community and the competition. It's
You're like
not
chomping at the bit.
the bit truly.
Like you want to be a part of it,
I
but you're like, I
I
cannot.
I have so much FOMO and I'm like, oh, everyone's so nice and so strong and I want to look beyond. Yeah, I've got issues. Anyways, and also the gymnastics part is a little bit, listen, I'll tell you, I have some calluses, but I'm a soft hand girly.
You can have some, I mean, you just learn how to care for them.
Uh-huh.
Hmm. I mean, hey, it's part of the
It's
territory.
like basically my two reasons for not doing CrossFit is I'm nervous about my back injuries and
Hmm.
injuring myself in general,
And you want
and
nice
I
hands.
put too much lotion.
Okay, you're gonna be sliding off the bar, you know?
So
Okay.
I respect it. I admire it. I can't wait to caffeinate the
Yeah.
CrossFit community. But I'm afraid I'm just going to have to be an admirer.
You're gonna make them faster and stronger.
So yeah, it's my goal. Since I can't be a part of community, I hope you can join mine and just come to my coffee shop.
Okay. Well, you could do, you know, I don't know when. You could always take a very scaled back CrossFit class.
I'm so scared.
Saturdays are fun.
I can't, and you know what? I can't do Saturdays.
Oh, true.
Yeah, I know.
So
Story of my
true.
life.
Come to think of it, they're so chill. Shout out CrossFit R2L.
I know. I'm scared, you see?
Yeah, but you're in Aries. Like, how scared are you?
Not really.
Not really? Yeah. You're like at the front.
Yeah. Just a
Yeah.
girl.
Exactly. I'm just
Okay.
one too.
Can we talk about um what it's like to be a girl in her 30s?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Well, and how so?
How so? I'll tell you. So I was thinking about this a lot recently because I love to say like, "Oh, I'm just a girl," and like
Mhm.
I graduated college so early. I was done with my bachelor's at 20, so I've been working since I was 20. Thanks.
What year did you graduate in?
College, graduated high school in 2014, and college I graduated in 2016.
Okay. Putting in that work. I also graduated in 2016, but not because I was accelerated by any means.
Well, how then?
Oh, I mean, like, I just didn't like, you said you were wrapped up by like 20.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 Why waste time when the money's out there?
You ready to go.
I loved college. I just did not enjoy being broke.
That's fair. Does anyone?
I kind of do now. It's a problem.
That's different. That's different. That
That's
is
another
different.
conversation.
That's
Hold on.
different.
We're going. There's too many. I want to touch on that too if we have time. But what I wanted to talk about was the fact that like being the youngest in that room, there's a lot of I'm not good enough. I shouldn't be here. I can't believe people are taking me seriously because I'm so young. I'm the youngest in my family. There's all this thing, right? Now I'm 30 and I'm an adult.
Yeah. How do you feel?
I don't. I feel like a girl
Mm-hmm.
who happens to be 30. So I have experiences. I know what I'm talking about. And if I don't, I'll fuck around and figure it out. And
Exactly.
that's the best part about being an adult. I feel capable. That's what I feel. But the
100%.
I'm a girl comes from I'm just trying my best. I think that's really where saying I'm a girl
Yeah.
comes from, where it's like I'm capable, I'm hardworking, I'm smart, but I'm human and I make
Yes.
mistakes. And sometimes, even though maybe at my highest capacity, I show up at my best, today that's not going to happen. So I might just look at you and say, I'm just a girl.
I think that's in a way, it's like with entrepreneurship or just, I don't know, life in general, there's so many times where we have to be on and we have to be like dialed in or like locked in. And that's obviously very useful. But it's nice to just be like, is whimsy the right word? It's nice to just give yourself
Yeah.
some permission to be like, yeah, I'm just a girl at the end of the day.
Tapping into that feminine where it's like, I can't do it all. I need help.
I'm gonna hustle, but also like, hey,
I
I'm
need someone to
also just
take
a
care of
girl.
me. Yeah, like I either can't or won't in this moment do what you need me to do because I'm spent,
Yeah,
or I just need help,
yeah,
or I'm literally just a girl, and sometimes you just want to receive, and that's okay.
exactly.
So glad we cleared that up.
So glad.
They've been eating at me.
Yes.
Oh my gosh,
Just a girly pop.
literally. Yeah, it's
Yes.
so much more dramatic if I had nails, but whatever.
Nope, not over here
We'll
either.
do what we can do. No, but tapping into that, this is something intriguing. I really do think that energy is everything. And so it's so interesting because I think as entrepreneurs, as humans in general, there's so much of our life where we are in our learning phase. We're observing, we're learning, we're at the bottom of the barrel, we're in our grind and hustle mode, and it's dirty and it's raw and it's real and it's exciting.
Hmm.
But then there gets a point where you start to grow. And yet you might hit a block and maybe you're not achieving the clients, the success, the recognition, the money that you should be
Hmm.
at that point. I'm not saying being a millionaire, I'm saying growth should be happening.
Right,
We are not just putting in the reps for funsies.
right.
It is fun. But results are fun too.
Sure.
So at that point, I think you have to feel that you deserve it. And that's a whole thing in and of itself.
That's a mindset thing,
Hmm.
right? As if you want to talk about that in finances, I mean, that's the big one. That can be
Yeah.
like a self-limiting belief for sure. Um, yeah, I agree with you on that. Like at the same time, no one owes you shit,
I love that.
but there is if you are putting in the work, and keeping in mind that your first iteration is not going to be the last one. You're going to And there's probably so many paths you didn't see coming, right? Or so many like different routes that you didn't see when you first started. But the longer you're in the game, so to speak, the
Mm-hmm.
longer you're setting out to do those things and aiming for those really big, awesome dreams, like, yeah, it's gonna be crazy. And you have to remind yourself too that like, what's the reason I'm doing this for? Like, yes, at a certain point, like I am worthy of the fruits of my labor or the
Right.
results from based on what I've put in. If you're not doing stuff and you're just expecting the
Yeah.
outcome, I think that's a lot different, right?
Yeah. That's what I love about entrepreneurship. It is the most, how's the best way to phrase this? Why is that articulate? It's the best mirror for self-development that is out there,
Very true.
because I literally say this to myself constantly, what you were just saying before. No one owes me anything.
No.
Even if I'm proud of my service, my product, whatever, no one owes me anything.
Mhm.
So what value am I giving? Because Jeff Lavecchio, back to our
Yeah.
Tony roots, he was my life coach for a minute there, and his biggest his catchphrase is "give more, be more."
Yep.
And he always used to say to me, and he says online all the time, "Life gives to the giver." So it's like, what are you offering
Hmm.
for other people? You
Yeah.
know. But at the same time, I did hear recently on a podcast, it was saying make sure that you are not making financial decisions out of your pocket or your wallet, I should say.
Okay.
In other words, a lot of times as entrepreneurs, we're pinching pennies, right? We're trying to get better. And so don't be afraid to charge what you're worth.
Hmm.
But at the same time, your worth better be bringing value.
Reflective of, yeah.
Correct. Yeah. And if you are not getting it, is it positioning? Is it trust? Are you doing the reps?
Hmm.
Like, is there some part where in the beginning you're going to have to do things for less than or free, but then knowing that boundary of when is it time to level up?
Yeah, 100%. I think that is just like a natural like path in entrepreneurship. It's part of growth and it's unique to every person.
Mm-hmm.
It could be a positioning issue. It could be, any variety of things, but that was a self-limiting belief I had going in.
Yeah.
I literally had someone the very first time I priced myself pretty low to start. And it wasn't, I don't know, I've just always been hard on myself. And it wasn't like I was not providing value, but eventually someone was like, you need to charge a little bit more for, what you're offering and the value that you are providing. So again, believing that I am worth that people will pay that. Like, I probably gave more of a shit about that than people coming in,
And
you know?
also the thing is that you might lose people,
True.
but the right people will find you. The people who could afford you will find you,
Yep.
you know? Because from a coffee perspective, you can go to Costco
Hmm.
and get coffee. And there will be people who that's good enough for them based on the price, based on the convenience, based on all those things.
100%.
I cannot convince these people. I could try. I can give them free samples. I can have them try my stuff. I have converted some people who were diehard folders
Yeah.
to liking my coffee. And some of them have recognized that they like my coffee. And I've also recognized that it's not cheap or convenient enough for them.
And that's okay.
And that's okay because that's not my target audience.
Right.
Your people will find you. Another topic that I think is super interesting on that note is saturation in the market, right? Chiropractors are a dime a dozen. Have you ever felt an overwhelm in that aspect of there's so many of them. Why am I special? Why do I stand out?
I think that's also been a natural part of my evolution is just falling into that comparison mindset. Um, Especially if you ride on like the high highs or the low lows, it's very easy to start like floundering a little bit. So finding a way to kind of bring yourself back to center and reminding yourself like, well, they're getting a unique experience by just seeing me because there's no other me out there.
Mm-hmm.
And there are so many people on this planet in this city that it's silly to kind of be like let that be the thing that's holding you back, saying like, oh, it's oversaturated or oh, there's too many quality. Like, I want everybody to do well. Like, genuinely, like, I'm happy that there are quality practitioners in St. Louis. Like, that's very good. That's a very good thing.
Right.
And at the same time, there's a piece of the pie for all of us. It might come back to, can I identify some issue? If my office isn't performing well, can I identify why? You know, if I want to see things like skyrocket, like, are there things that I can improve on? You know, things that I could be doing better? Are there ways to reach other audiences, you know, that maybe aren't being reached? Or, yeah, I think that, like, I don't really get too, like, hung up on that now. I think I have fallen into that trap for sure.
Yeah.
And
Comparison's a beast.
it is. And I think part of it's like natural. Like, you're in a field, and if it is saturated, there's going to be some thought there. But I think, you know, letting go of that, because it really is a self-limiting belief. I
Mm-hmm.
think it can keep you stuck if you're just going to sit and play that game.
And sabotage you.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's also hard. I think being a dreamer, being an entrepreneur, having that big vision of where you want to be, the hardest thing is that you're limited in what you can accomplish in one day.
Hmm.
And so it's easy to not feel enough. But an analogy, I guess you could say, that I heard recently that's been really productive, but also calming for me is kill one monster today. Because if you don't kill one monster today, you'll have two monsters to kill tomorrow.
I like it.
I know. Because that's literally what they feel like.
Uh-huh.
You know, it's just, and sometimes your monsters are smaller, sometimes they're bigger, but it's just, what's one monster that I can kill today?
My mom used to say something similar to that growing up. It was like, don't worry about tomorrow because tomorrow has enough trouble of its own. Like,
Mm,
focus on don't bite off more than you can chew, you know, focus. And it also is a thing to keep you grounded in reality, like right now. That's, I feel like that's one thing too we could kind of talk about is like, I have definitely felt that way where it feels like I'm almost doing the splits. I have like toes in the past and I
yeah.
have lots of toes in the future. And it's like, I'm not showing up here now because I'm too preoccupied there.
I know it's crazy. I have to ground myself sometimes where I'm even at right now.
Hmm.
Me a few months ago, a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, for sure 3 years ago would have been like sick.
Yeah.
That's crazy, you know?
Yeah,
It's a
it is.
gratitude moment.
It is a big gratitude moment.
Okay, this is one of my favorite questions to ask people. What is a project, an element of your business that you're working on right now that you're really excited about?
I'd say two of them come to mind. I did I moved offices within the facility. So, uh, and it's things that I probably noticed that people are like, they don't care. Because I originally painted the wall behind us and did not turn out how I wanted. So I had to prime. Again, I'm just a girl. I have free will. I can prime over that if I don't like it.
Yeah.
And if I get tired of this, I can paint over it. But um, there are little things that I like would make me feel a little bit more settled if they were done. So renovation has been like just making the room look how I want, having the vibe that I want in here. That's always like a work in progress, it feels like sometimes. And then there are elements of my business that just need either like it's time to revisit them and reformat or refilm or like whatever it is. But that's an undertaking in and of itself.
Oh, like the actual like foundation of your business that you wanted to.
I'd say some things with like if I do any like programming and it has video attached to it or things like that. It's kind of
Mm,
making sure that library is up to par.
that's a project.
It is a
And
project.
you're doing it yourself right now. Like
I
you're a
am.
one-man show.
Oh yeah.
I struggle with that myself too, where it's like sometimes it's a problem of capacity. It's not just a time thing, it's I'm one person.
Mhm.
So it's like, yeah, I know what it would take to drive this business forward, but it's just me right now.
Mhm. It is very much finding that, like, do you feel like you work all the time as an entrepreneur? Do you have boundaries or like,
It's
you
a
know?
that is what I'm like literally just recently within the past few weeks have been working on. Like, so Pesach or Passover just
Mhm.
happened. And right before I went to Florida for 2 weeks.
Yes.
Didn't work. I told Curtis, shout out to you, Curtis, that I wasn't gonna take my laptop. I took my
You
laptop.
did.
I did.
Please include that.
Yeah, I'm like, I have this thought that everything is figure it outable,
Mhm.
you know? Um, I'm a very woo-woo, spiritual, energetic girly, and I also listen to Tony Robbins. And you're like, how does that connect? It connects because he's talked about how in history, it doesn't matter if there's been war or the economy has been terrible, there has always been people who have found ways to be successful.
Mhm.
And as an entrepreneur, that excites me because I'm like, there is always a way. It's just a perspective shift.
Yeah.
I will find out a way, and having that faith. But reconnecting to what you asked me, you said, do I struggle with
And not even turning it off, but like, do you find yourself working around the clock?
Yeah, I was because I really got caught up in this whole entrepreneur hustle culture where it's like gotta grind. It's the beginning. If you don't work now, in the beginning, when it's the hardest, it'll be easier later, but you gotta put in the work. And if you don't put
Mhm.
in the work, you're not gonna get the results, right? Which is a very also like masculine energy. And going back to, I'm just a girl.
Mhm.
Men biologically run on a 24-hour time window. Women, we run on our period cycles. So when I'm ovulating, I'm freaking superwoman. But then when I'm on my luteal cycle, either I'm a raging bitch or I'm a homemaker. There's no in
No
between.
in between.
There's no in between. Okay. Either way, not in my most productive mode.
Mhm.
Okay. So it's like, what's been crazy is I've just learned that because I'm a one woman show, I can't keep up this full steam ahead, working around the clock. It's too much for me. That doesn't mean I'm not going to slay a monster every single day. It
Right.
doesn't mean I'm not pushing this forward and I'm not hungry and ambitious. It just means that I am making sure that I get my sleep and that my house is clean and my laundry is done and that I make time to spend time with friends and do the things that fill my cup.
Yeah.
And maybe saying, I can't do everything I need to do today. That will be something that will unfortunately have to be done tomorrow. And just trusting timing, divine timing, and kind of letting some of those harsh standards of, oh, this must be done by this time, like the calendars that I've created in my own head, the schedules that I've created in my own head,
Yeah.
where it's like, I would love for Lake Cafe to open fall of 2026.
Yeah.
Is that what's meant to be? I don't know. I'm gonna try damn hard to make that a reality.
Yeah.
But if that doesn't happen, I trust and believe that it will happen exactly when it's supposed to.
Mhm.
And I would much rather it happen in a way that is peaceful and joyful and successful, where I feel good and confident and calm about it,
Yeah.
you know? And I've noticed recently, as I've been more calm, my energy's been in better space. I've been sleeping more, I've been eating better.
Mhm.
I'm more productive in a shorter period of time. I don't need to hustle 24/7.
Yeah. I think it's like like when you know what it feels like to squeak out like every bit of your 24 hours and like we've probably all had those days where you're like running a million miles an hour and you are getting a lot of stuff done. But, you know, something inevitably, if you're just doing that all for business, like something might suffer somewhere else. I feel like that's where we all have to determine individual balance. Is it worth letting the other things suffer? Depends what it is,
Yeah, I think it's just tapping into I'm just a girl and this is my life and it's okay. And this is an interesting food for thought, but a concept that I've been telling people recently is my theory is stress is when you're trying to control something that's out of your control.
Mhm.
Because if I could do something about it, I will calmly, collectively handle my shit. And if I can't, then I'm stressing, right? Because I'm like, oh, this is beyond my time, my capacity, whatever. In that scenario, because I'm a God girl, I just look at God, I'm like, this is none of my business.
You're like, I surrender.
I surrender. Truly. And it's given me so much comfort to be able to do that. Where it's like, no, I will try my best. Don't get me wrong. I'm not just sitting here, you know, at home eating bonbons, hoping that everything is going to work out.
Right.
I'm going to work hard. But sometimes I realize that for whatever reason, I'm not in a flow state. And there has to be a higher ordained reason for that.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree with that.
So, per your point earlier, what can I do? What can I control? What can I focus on with my business? How can I get 1% better today?
Control those controllables.
Hmm.
Yeah,
And that's what gives me peace.
I like it.
This has been so much fun. I
Yeah.
love talking with you.
I love talking with you too.
I'm so glad that we connected officially, sat down and did the pod.
After so long.
After so long, after years, that's crazy. So I have this tradition, end of every podcast episode. This whole podcast is based on this Hebrew quote, which is Eze Hacham Halamed Mikol Adam, which means one who is wise is one who learns from everyone. We've learned a lot from you. I know we've just scratched the surface.
Yeah.
But if we can get just one last life lesson or quote, what would it be?
One thing, and it kind of comes back to gratitude. It's not anything insanely like some big epiphany, but I think gratitude really was the biggest thing that I incorporated last year. And I would say it stemmed from living very much either ruminating on the past or being so freaked out and anxious about the future. Um, I learned to look back and appreciate all the things that I have accomplished thus far. And it kind of is touching on every little thing that we've said tonight. Like, if I can figure it out like that time, I can figure it out this time. Like, I have been in sticky situations and I have figured it out somehow.
Mhm.
I don't always have a blueprint for it, but that's okay. And I think taking time to sometimes I will verbalize it, sometimes I'll journal it, sometimes I'll, just have it circulating in my head or a combo of all three. But I try to have that in times where I do feel really disoriented and I'm not exactly showing up in the present for myself, for other people, for whatever. So it's not a way to like punish myself, but there is some sort of saying out there that's like, if you woke up tomorrow with just the things that you were grateful for today,
Mm.
what would your life look like?
Mm.
And I don't know, that kind of shapes. It's not like I'm just going to bed and listing what I'd like to have tomorrow, but it does remind me that, like, it reminds me to check in on my loved ones. Like, that's literally a goal on my vision board is like touch base. And that's so small, but it's those little things that sometimes I forget.
Yeah.
They seem very simple, but it also, I think it just brings me back to this moment, reminds me that life is short and so finite. I got a bunch of cool shit to do with cool people, but at the end of the day, like, I don't need to beat up on myself. I've done hard stuff. I'm going to continue to do hard stuff, slay a dragon or slay a monster, whatever,
Yeah.
and continue to grow.
I love it. Literally everything you're saying is resonating with me so much. This is why I love getting older. It's the data points are increasing, right? So even if there's new
God, are we at the
dragons,
time where we've had lived experience?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, truly, I'm an old soul. So it's been very confusing. Because like you're a deep soul, I should
Mhm.
say. I don't know if I was so mature, but I was deep. There's a difference.
Yeah.
That's something with maturity I've come to realize, you know? But looking back, it's really cool to see things that I thought were like hard and I've done them. So I could do hard things.
Yes.
Maybe that would be my quote is I can do hard things,
Yeah.
you know? And that's what gets me through. My favorite business entrepreneur quote that gets me through is, oh my goodness. I quote him so often and I forgot the name of the guy. I'll tell you the quote,
Okay.
and if the name comes to me, I'll say it. I've been up since, don't worry about it. Zig Ziglar says that if you have an idea for a business or a product and it's not currently in existence, it is your moral obligation to make it a reality.
Mhm.
And going back to our earlier conversation of saturated market, other people doing the same thing, yeah, sure, whatever. They're not you. And this is why I'm so into birthdays, because the day that you were born was the day that God, the universe, source, whatever, decided that the world could no longer exist without you.
Yeah.
And so your birth, we really should be thinking about this every day. But your birthday, at the very least, is that annual reminder I'm still here. So I still matter. So I still have a reason for waking up because so many people did not.
Mhm.
So what am I going to do? What's my purpose? Why am I here? And I believe we could have multiple purposes, right?
Sure.
But yeah.
I like that. I think it is a disservice to not only yourself and to your community and to your loved ones to not do something with the gifts that you have.
Mm-hmm. It's your moral obligation.
That's strong.
That's
That's spicy. That's
that's
zesty.
that's
Yeah.
the moral obligation. That is what has gotten me through the hard times. Where it's like I've wanted to give up, I've questioned myself, it doesn't seem like anything's working. And I'm like, this I'm really into like Kabbalah. I can't believe we could talk for an hour and I haven't brought that up. I'm really into spiritual mysticism, all the woo-woo stuff, right? And so it talks about how the fulfillment comes before the desire. You would never have a desire for something if you weren't meant to have it. And if all the ingredients and the recipe, everything wasn't just waiting for you to just start,
Mhm.
you know? So I love that. And that's why I talk about when I hit those roadblocks and I feel like I don't know how to continue on in whatever area it is in my life. That's where I'm like, honestly, God, you're the one who gave me this desire. So I feel like this is your business to figure out why shit ain't working. Because I am just a girl.
You're just a
I'm
girl.
literally just a girl.
I'm sure you're gonna figure it out.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Because this doesn't turn off.
Never.
Even on Shabbos.
Even on what?
Shabbos or Sabbath.
Like not even on the Sabbath.
No, I turned off my phone, but there's no switch.
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
Man,
This has been so great.
it's been great.
What can my community do to support you?
If you have never been, and you're curious about it, visit a chiropractor. There are, like I've said, there are so many great quality ones around here. You can,
Specifically, Rehab Lofts is located on 1530 South Kings Highway at the R2L community. If you're looking for her office space, you just go up the stairs. She's right by Casa de Pilates.
that is very true. Yes.
You're welcome.
Welcome to stop in here. Thank you for that pitch.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Um, I don't know. I think it just stems from support your community. And I would love to have members of your community, come in and experience chiropractic care. I mean, that'd be awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this has been so great. I'm going to link all the connections in the bio.
Yes.
So your Insta,
Cool.
your websites where people can book,
Mm-hmm.
and the address. People know where to find you.
Cool.
And if you can't find her in the office, she's meandering, she wanders, she's on the floor, she's on the ground.
I'm meandering
She's doing
somewhere.
CrossFit.
She's not doing CrossFit right now.
You're not doing CrossFit right now.
No.
After all the shit you gave me this whole episode, you're not doing CrossFit right
No.
now. Why?
It just was not the season for it, girl.
Okay.
Doesn't mean I don't like CrossFit.
Hmm. I want to do ballet.
Different season.
Anyways,
Okay, that's a different
that's a
episode.
different episode.
That's a vlog.
That's a vlog. Oh, So great. Well, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
This was a pleasure.
This was good.
Well, guys, thank you for listening to another awesome episode. If you're not currently watching, the video is available on Spotify and YouTube. And YouTube is specifically where I am trying to grow my community. So if you're not already subscribed, what are you doing with your life? Please go subscribe. That was the part I was telling you about. Please go subscribe. Share this episode with a friend. I hope you guys have a great week. Let's get it. Let's